STEM is still a relatively new concept in schools. The last 2.5 to 3 years, I think, is when schools like ours have been trying to integrate science and math more. And so I think any forum where practitioners can come together and learn from one another, share ideas, curate some content, make for a really valuable resource. I think that's what talkSTEM has been for our teachers. Well, here at Parish, we've gone through that process of really defining what a STEM-based learning experience looks like, and it must integrate science, technology, some engineering or designing or building, and some mathematics. So, for example, in our 3rd and 4th grade program, our students don't go to math and science; they go to a STEM curriculum and have the teacher teaching in a STEM capacity. There'll be some individual math instruction there, and there'll be some science concept instruction there, but much of what they're doing is breaking the boundaries between those particular subjects. So I think it's important for schools to have that conversation, to not presume that STEM means X, when really for them they've got to come to an understanding of what their practitioners are going to put into a place, so that's a common and shared experience for all of their students. And again, for us here at Parish, we want to see elements of each of the alphabet letters in the work that we're doing, and we have a pre-K through 12 program that really commits to do that. I think parents need to understand the landscape of the world in which their kids are going to be working, and I think that's hard for parents right now who are so focused on students getting the grades and maybe going to college. The reality is the world of work is changing considerably, and we know that STEM careers are those that are growing most rapidly. So I think if talkSTEM can educate parents on the future work landscape, the fact that our children are going to need to be more entrepreneurial, that they're going to need to be able to see subjects as connected and interdisciplinary, not just as isolated subjects. That will help schools who want to venture into this space work through any anxiety parents might have about why are we teaching it this way? This isn't the way we learned it. You know, change is hard for all of us, even those of us that are progressive and aspiring for moving our schools in certain directions. So we need to be provoked. And you know, High Tech High does a great job of that. The film did an excellent job of that. Many of us who were there as colleagues had a chance to either speak that evening or speak in follow-up about things we liked about the film, we could see building into our model, maybe some things that we wouldn't build into our model but were provocative to think about. And so I think that's why those types of gatherings are terrific. And we hadn't had a chance here in Dallas to get to see the film. So the fact that talkSTEM was able to make that opportunity available to us in a relatively quick turnaround time before it got onto the national landscape was really a great asset. What we're learning about our own educations as educators and as adults is we've got to build these personal learning networks. You know, you've got to be connected to people in social media space, whether it's in Twitter or those that are blogging actively, where you can go and I think in a fairly quick and consumable way find inspiration and ideas on how people are tackling this particular challenge. So though I have a lot to write and can't write as frequently for talkSTEM as I might like, being able to drop something there as an educational leader, not a practitioner, some of our teachers do, I think adds to that notion, the spirit of we've got to come to a place and share ideas with one another so we can continue to advance this effort. Well, I think talkSTEM has arrived at an opportune time. This is a terrific market with great universities in town that have design thinking like the Decent Innovation Gym at SMU, the work that's going on up at UTD in computer programming and STEM-related fields. Many of our independent and public schools and charter schools aspiring to build STEM into their programs. So having this center point of this resource where over time, as we begin to all go there more and populate the site more and pass it on amongst our networks, I think it's at a very opportune time for us to see it as a learning center and as a place to go for both inspiration and information.